This year, the Occupy movement first started in early September at New York City's Wall Street. Soon afterwards, the Occupy movement spread around all over the Bay Area. On October 10th, Occupy Oakland began its first encampment here at the Frank Ogawa Plaza, which they have renamed the Oscar Grant Plaza. Since then, the Occupy encampment has faced a lot of raids, which have resulted in failed attempts to kick out protesters. On November 14th, they were raided for the second time, and police said they were no longer allowed to set up camp or pitch tents. In response, protesters set up a vigil, which allows them to sleep in sleeping bags and sit in chairs. A lot of people are unsure about what is the Occupy movement. Some say it's about the imbalance of wealth between the 1% rich and the 99%, which is made up of the working class, the poor, and everyone else. I talked with Naomi Regan, a supporter of the Occupy movement who has been part of it since early October. She says unregulated capitalism and systematic inequalities are some of the reasons that brought her here, but she stays because she sees the injustice of how the city tries to repress her voice.
When we have Mayor Kwan, for example, acknowledging that there's a large number of homeless in our encampment and using that to justify why we should leave, instead of acknowledging that that is the very root of why we are here, that we are here to bring visibility to these issues. Every time examples like that are used in an attempt to disperse us, it is a reminder of why we're here. When we're told that we can't set up our tents, that we can't be here in a public space, that we should leave so that the public can come into this space, we realize that we need to reframe that and to show that what we are doing here is a vigil, that we are holding that light, again, bringing the visibility to a lot of the injustices and inequality. Yes, we're here for education. Yes, we're here because, the increasing majority of the jobless and the homeless. I guess the one word, the unifying thing is for, to create equality. I don't even think of it as the 99%, because ideally I think of it as I'm here for the 100%, that there is much benefit for all of us with these changes.
During the time I visited the Occupy Oakland site, more and more protesters began to gather at the plaza, and some shouted their grievances towards the police.
This is what make our occupation different from every other occupation, because we got police that don't do shit, and they're ignorant. That's why we try to tell San Francisco occupation that this shit is real over here. Fuck the police. Don't be inviting the police to coffee and shit. These motherfuckers is not good. Look at these two motherfuckers right here. They just standing there having a fucking conversation.
According to protesters, there are approximately 20 people that stay overnight for the vigil. They hold events during the day, which is when most people come to support the movement. But with numbers dwindling, some think Occupy Oakland may soon face its end.
Just last night we were talking about is oftentimes if you look at the water, if you look at the ocean, you have this sort of low tide, or after a tidal wave comes in, the water almost looks as if it's receding. Mm-hmm. And so the core that we're talking about, the 20 or so of us that are here overnight, kind of feel like we're that water, as it looks as if it's receding. But that's the moment that you see right before another strong wave comes in.
I talked to other protesters who didn't want to show their face on camera. They said that water sprinklers go off every day at the plaza to prevent them from setting up camp or tents in the wet mud. They couldn't even set up camp if they wanted to, since the police patrol the camp 24/7 and arrest anyone who tries to set up camp.